Josue, you were in the studio. Thanks for coming in, sir.
Yeah, Rich.
I've known you a long time, or about 10, 11 years now, something like that. I never thought that we'd be sitting here like this about this subject matter. It's kind of funny how life works.
Yeah. Last time we're about renting some houses at Paseo del Sol.
That's exactly right. You were managing Paseo del Sol over by Del Mar Academy.
Yes.
And now you work for the municipality and are arguably probably the most important man pertaining to Nosara right now.
Well, I don't think
how's
so.
That feel?
I don't think so, but I'm that important, but I'm working.
Well, it's a controversial subject that we're talking about today. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of opinions. And I've been trying to report it from my side. So I'm just listening to every side. Everyone can say whatever they want. And after listening to, I don't even know how many hundreds of hours I've been talking about this with everybody, I've realized there's a lot of confusion out there because like just this morning, I probably had 4 phone calls and maybe 10 emails of people saying, what about this exact detail of this? Yeah. And we're not really there right now. This is not a plan reguladora. This is like a temporary building restriction regulation, right? So that's what I'm seeing from my end. What are you seeing on your end?
No, and you're right. There's a few big confusion because definitely this is not a regulatory plan, right? We are talking about a reglamento.
Okay, and what does that mean?
Spanish. And I don't know if there's a word in English for that, but reglamento, a reglamento is just part of the regulatory plan, right?
So it's a little part.
It's a little part. And even in the regulatory plan, there's going to be a reglamento de construcciones, like construction rules to follow. This reglamento for construction is going to include more things. We are just handled with just a little part of that reglamento.
Okay.
Basically, but this is not a regulatory plan for now. We are doing like the first steps to get in there, but it's too early to talk about that.
I got you. So a regulatory plan, you have said previously in the meetings that you're thinking 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now I'm going to be really upfront with you. People don't believe that this is going to happen in 2 to 3 years. People think this is going to happen in 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 years. And that's why they're so stressed out, are concerned about the regulations.
Yes, and totally understand because this process is very hard. Approve one of the regulatory plan in Costa Rica is super, super hard, even for us, like as a municipalidad. But I can let you know that there's some good chance that we can have it done in the next 3 years.
Now, why is that? And again, pardon my skepticism. I rarely share my opinion. I still haven't even shared what I really think about all this with the public yet. The one thing I will say publicly is it sounds very hard to believe that things get up and down and happen on time in the country.
Yes.
And again, I'm not being rude. I'm just being honest with you. People are very skeptical. You're saying you're very confident. Why is that?
I've been working in this for the last 6 years, basically. Last 4 just was like crazy. Basically, we never have a budget to work in this project from the Muni. So last 2 years, we start to having budget. Not that much as we want, but for us, it was incredible because we have something to move, for example.
So you have funding.
Yeah, exactly. We have funding. Our own funds
we
are using for this. Also, we have our big opportunity with the main government. Nicoya has been selected by the first 20 municipalidades that are included in a program for some help for this process. Basically, they're gonna help us to create our material information and studies in order to just go and work with the regulatory plan. And that's gonna happen in the next 2 years. So probably in 3 years, we're gonna have like all enough information to work and finish the process.
So this funding is coming from the government. It's not from private enterprises?
No, it's coming from the main government, and it's not part of the fund of the Muni. It's different.
Interesting. So a lot of people are asking, why is this temporary plan getting pushed through so quickly? Like, what's the big rush? If we don't have the studies right now to make logical decisions, why are we still pushing to have it in place? Could you address that?
Yes, actually, we got some... well, not pressure. We have a timeline, a yearly timeline for our process. We go all the year, and we are making budget for next year, and that happened all the years. So last year we make this budget, and we need to spend it this year. Right? If not, we're gonna lose the money.
So your rush is from your own internal issue. It's not from an outside agency.
Yeah, basically
pushing you.
Yeah, basically yes.
Okay.
And also this budget we have the support of the Contraloría General, which is like the person who is taking a look at the munis. And we send the budget to them, and they approve that budget, and now they're gonna check that we spend the money. So for us, we need to do it because that's gonna give us better note in the end.
Okay, now why Nosara?
Nosara is basically one of the places or the place where we have more construction, and this happened. Well, I start to register this 5 years ago, and basically I registered the areas and how that we register for every permit around Nicoya and all the canton. And basically for the last 5 years, we have no less than 30% of growth in Nosara area in terms of construction, new construction.
Okay, and that's factoring in remodels as well?
Well, remodels, there's like 5% of remodels that we included, and it's part in the number, but it's just close to the 5%.
So to recap for anyone listening to this, I think it was May 23rd that you did the first proposal. The first proposal has changed a little bit. We've done a lot of dialogue. We've recorded some town meetings. People can find that on my site or the nosaratimes.com site and get up to speed if anybody wants to see what you've said previously. As we sit today, though, version 2 of the proposal, it's no minimum lot size instead of 1,000 as it was in version 1. And I think that's the number one contested. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. The next thing is the height restrictions were adjusted from 6 meters inside the buffer zone to 9, and then 12 outside the buffer zone unless you're on a slope facing the ocean, correct? And the percentage you use is at 50% now, total use of space. Lighting adjustments, you've added some septic adjustments and some grandfathering in. Did I hit the main points?
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about the no minimum lot size, because that's elicited a lot of information. Like when you first launched the first proposal, the people who were for that proposal almost unanimously are upset that there's no minimum lot size in the second proposal. Can you talk us through that?
Yes, of course. Actually, there's one of the important things that we consider take off because the situation of the area, right? We have a lot of different things going on in that area.
And when you say different things, what do you mean? Are you talking about different types of use or?
Yes, different types and different situations.
Okay, so residential versus commercial and whatnot.
Exactly. First kilometer, we have all the commercial stuff and all residential stuff around Guiones. Also, we have Esperanza Town in this area. Santa Marta town in this area, and it's totally different concepts and different situation, right? So we consider that the studies that we have for that 1,000, we need to improve that definitely, and we need to generate more information in order to get that part better.
So is it safe to say the studies that you currently have were indicative that you need more studies to get more detailed information?
Exactly. Because now we have the support for 1,000, but we consider that we need to have some numbers in the middle, right? So we need to give the technical background for those numbers.
Here's the concern. People don't think that the plan regulador is going to happen in 2 or 3 years. So we're going to have no minimum lot size for the next 10 years and the Nosara will be gone. That's the concern. Well, what you're answering to that is, if I understand you right, I just want to make sure I understand. We're going to have a plan regulador in 2 to 3 years. You're very confident of that.
Yes, actually, yes. And we are working hard for that, putting all our energy for complete that. We need to do it because all these opportunities that we have now, they are like gold for us. It's not a lot of money for our local budget money, but next year we're going to ask for more. Plus this government help, so definitely we're gonna finish this with some good advance.
Okay, are outside interests help paying for this? As in, are other organizations or other people giving you money to do these studies, or is it again straight from the government for this whole plan regulador process?
No, actually, for MUNI, it's just our own budget.
Okay,
based on the taxes that we collect, right? And from the government, they got support from el Fondo Verde para el Cambio Climático.
Okay.
I don't know the words in English.
Sorry.
But basically, they got support of them, and they just finished the structure for get all those funds to the country and apply those funds to the municipalities.
Okay. Well, the concern is some people feel that organizations might be paying privately for someone to do the information that they want it to say, and then they give it to you, and then you make a decision based off of privately funded.
No, actually, that's some legal issues for us. Part of the process, you need to keep in mind that this is a public and legal process. We as a MUNI, we can do like the one way. So if there is any legal way how to do that, probably we consider. If there's no legal way how to do that, definitely not.
Got it. Well, maybe we'll talk more on that in the future, but for right now, let's keep going. So next up, the height restriction from 6 to 9 meters in the buffer zone, 9 to 12 outside, but it's still 9 meters if it's on a slope facing the ocean. Why did you make that decision to change from 6 to 9 inside the buffer zone?
Well, we consider now the feedback that we got for architects, for example, and engineers, and also all these feedbacks we send them to another institution. We went to Mina and let them know what's going on, and hey, what do you think about these numbers? And they give us like also the good the agreement for that. They would agree with that. Also, we send the information to another technical guys at San Jose and legal guys, lawyers for the study.
One of the biggest concerns, of course, is the lights for the turtles. And we're inside of a refuge. We have Oceanal, and we have turtles in Guione sometimes too. So that's why I'm just trying to clarify for anyone listening. Why do people care about height restrictions and lights and whatnot on the hills? And that's the answer. Now, on the flip side, a lot of people who have properties on the hill are very concerned being limited at 9 meters because they don't feel that that's enough. Like, for example, people who have a road up at the top and that's their entry point, and you have to do you start the 9 meters from the main support system at the bottom, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that could be problematic for someone. Or for other people who might be willing to do light regulations and make sure nothing's facing outward, but to get a view, they need to have a third story. Sure. They're very concerned. So that's kind of the feedback on each end. A lot of people are like, no, 2 stories is too much because you're going to mess up the turtles. And other people are saying, hey, this isn't enough. What's your take on it?
Well, you need to keep in mind that we use like the general regulation for all the cases, right? We might have some special cases, of course, that we are totally open to discuss every detail with them. But in the end, for me, it's very technical stuff that you need to figure out with your architect or engineer, right? Okay. When you have a slab, you're going to have like this high in this position. Probably you have a big high, but you can have the same height, probably moving the building to another position, right? Less high. So every special single case we are open to study and see what option they have.
Okay, so I got 2 things out of your answer there. What you're saying is, first off, talk to your architect engineer, try to get the base height up somehow, some way, if you can. And then number 2, you're willing to listen.
Yes.
Okay, so if someone comes to you with a well thought through case that makes sense, you guys might factor that into consideration.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is a helpful discussion, and I'm already learning some stuff right now, and hopefully the listeners are
especially
too.
Because there's a lot of physical stuff and situation at the site that probably is not in the catastrophe plan, for example, right? So we are totally open to work with.
Got it. So it's almost a case by case basis until the real plan regulator gets enacted.
Yes.
Okay. So percentage of use, what's the feedback that you're getting on that one? Because for me, it seems like, or what I'm hearing anyway, is most people seem to be okay with it, but the people who are not okay with it are very not okay with it. So what are you getting on your end?
Well, we improved that using the permeable concepts in order to get a better idea about what included not.
If it's a concrete driveway, that's counted. If it's a rancho that has any kind of roof, it's counted. If it's a pool, it's counted.
Yes.
So If it's a gravel driveway, that's not counted.
It's out. Exactly.
Okay.
That's the way.
Who's upset about that, and who likes it? What's the feedback that you're getting on that one?
Well, pretty much all the people that are agree with everything in general. We got some against subjects about realtors, for example. Some guys that are thinking in big projects that they want to use like more area, right? But I mean, more than 80%, 85% of the people are agree.
Okay, so that one's going from your side pretty smooth.
Based on all the emails and comments that we have.
I got you. From my side, the people who are pretty upset about it are scared. Maybe that's a better term. A lot of it's the people who have small lots, who already purchased lots. Like maybe they bought a 400-meter lot or a 450-meter lot that's been there for years, and you guys approved that. Yeah. And then now they're finding out, wait, I can't build this or I can't build that. Like a lot of the new construction homes that are happening right now don't meet the 50% usage. But those people didn't do anything wrong. They bought a lot that you guys approved. So now if the rules are changing on them, they're scared. And that actually kind of makes sense. Yeah. What do we tell to those folks? Because we're talking about being grandfathered in. You're mentioning that as well. Yes, I'm just trying to bridge the two subjects for you. So if they're being grandfathered in, and they already have to have their permits requested or the plan submitted, that's not really being grandfathered in. No. Being grandfathered in is something over a period of time. So can you talk us through those two things? Because the people are upset. Actually, some of them have a valid point. And I'm not talking about just developers who want to maximize everything. I'm talking about like just your nice family who just wants to use the space that they paid for. So they're confused. Sure.
Well, I think everything is part of the regulation process. I mean, we're going to have not all the people happy, right? Some people that they don't like the idea, but in the end they agree because it's part of the regulation. And some people that they're never gonna be like agree with anything, right?
Of course. So, and I'm talking more for the former. So
yes. So for us in Costa Rica, well, we need to follow the legal path, right? So if you have any solid right that we need to respect, we're going to take it, we're going to consider that.
Well, that's nice to hear. So you'll, much like the height on the weird circumstances, you'll actually look at it and talk it through?
Exactly. Because we need something, right? Like solid, not just an intention. You know, I would say that if you have a project, you're going to build it next year, probably you're fine. I mean, we don't see any problem with that. But if you have a lot and you're going to build something in 5 years or 10 years, I mean, there's just intention and we don't have any legal path to work with intention in Costa Rica, right?
I got you. Hey, I want to pause for a moment. That's a really important point. And a lot of people out there who are maybe scared to come talk to you or they won't say it online, they're wondering this thought. So let's go through that again. What you're saying, if someone wants to build in a year or so, you think that they'll be okay. Yes. They can come talk to you. Things will be all right. If it's 5-10 years, then obviously that's too long. Something's going to change.
Yes.
Okay, that alone, I think, will let a lot of pressure out of people because what people understood from the meetings is that you basically already have to be in talks right now with plans and plans submitted to Nicoya to be grandfathered in, and that's not being grandfathered in. That's actually just
and also you need to keep in mind that we need to follow the right legal process, right?
Right.
We are in the middle.
You're trying to figure out the legal process now.
No, but I mean for the publication of the reglamento.
Okay.
So we need to burn all the stage in order to apply it and make it happen, right? We still open or the process is open to people that are against, right? They can go with the legal process and that's totally fine. But we need to, if that happens, if somebody just try to make a legal process in another institution, we need to wait to solve that before to keep going.
I get you. It sounds like to me, people who have small lots, who have the percentage of use question, it would behoove them to contact you and talk now.
Yes.
This is helpful. Like this is going to reach a couple people out there for sure. Probably more than a couple.
That's why I'm here and we are here.
Yeah, that's right. So, and thank you for that. What's going on with the lights? We've had a couple adjustments to that.
Well, lights is a basic concept. Basically, don't face a straight light to the beach, right? You try to use the as any kind of light that don't make you like make a straight line into the beach, or maybe you can use like for patio light, small heights for walk. And basically that's it. Very
Point being,
simple.
so you're not facing much resistance on the light.
No, actually it's like
that one's
super easy point.
Got it. Now you did add in some septic adjustments. Can you talk us through that, please?
Yeah, septic is too basic, right? We are not proposing like a specific system right now.
Okay.
But definitely we want to prevent to have like a improved system based on the cheapest septic tank at the market.
Right.
Which is basically 2 concrete pipes, put it together and that's it, right? And that's the cheapest.
And just basic black water systems.
Exactly. But for a air shake or something, it's going to have crack and leaks. So that means that we're going to have like like bad water going on the ground without treatment, right?
Well, in some cases, we have runoff issues. Like right now, in the K section in particular, where you have some of the bigger houses being built, we'll have runoff issues. And it's really unpleasant, and people are rightfully concerned about that.
Yes, personal, I like biodigesters. I got one in my house in Nicoya. But at least we are thinking people start to use those plastic tanks.
The plastic setups,
exactly.
they in earthquakes, they perform a lot better and whatnot.
And they don't crack easily.
Gotcha. So while we're on the subject, let's hit it up real quick. The pricing difference is not that bad. It used to be in many years past, but these days, to get the improved septic system, it's really not that much difference.
No, actually not. It's like 80,000 colones different. I mean, not a big deal. And we start to look like those companies who are doing like the social houses, and they start to use it because it's kind of even cheaper. Install it. They just need one guy.
So even in the government housing, they're implementing.
Exactly.
All right, that's pretty good. Did we cover all of them? Lot size, height, percentage of use, lighting, septic, grandfathering in. Interesting. That grandfathering in and the height restriction, that was very helpful for a lot of people. Yes. Hopefully someone's listening to this somewhere and taking a deep breath and not freaking out quite as much as they were before. So let me ask you this. This is a regulamento, which is just a small little portion of the whole grand scheme of things. As you get the new information and the new studies come in and things start to change and this whole process formalizes, can these temporary regulations, can they be adjusted too? Or are they all going to be implemented into the regulatory plan as they sit?
Definitely will be different, some changes, and we're going to have some changes, especially because now we are working in this area only because we got technical support studies, right? But you need to keep in mind that the regulatory plan is going to be in a bigger area. So all the information inside that area is going to be included. So for regulatory part, we are not going to talk about the impacts on, no. That's on reference that legally now we can use it. But in the regulatory part, it's going to be just part of the regulation.
Okay, so for public roads, for example, that's going to have more commercial use.
Yes.
That's factored in. Like the G section where it has more density, for example, is a little bit different than Esperanza, Santa Marta. So instead of just broad sweeping rules, it's going to be very specific. And you're saying it's going to happen in 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
Okay. I can't help but laugh a little. It sounds weird for someone to believe so much that something's going to happen on time here. But let's have hope.
Okay. And we are totally open to this with people. I mean, that's one of the goals that all the guys in the commission, we share. And we are agree with that this person need to be open. You know, not like 7 guys sitting in Nicoya, setting up what we're going to do in Nosara. No, we need to work. The first minute I say, if we do the reglamento process and we make the publication of the reglamento and nobody say anything, I will be the first guy and say no. We need to do something else in order to get the people voice in the process.
So in the event that it doesn't happen in 2 to 3 years, as you guys suspect, what's wrong with putting in like a review clause into the temporary one where each year, every 18 months, like what would be the problem with putting that in to where if one of the rules that you put isn't working as it should, that you could review it and amend it if you needed to? It seems like that could save everyone in the community a great deal if something's not working right.
Yes.
Is that something you guys would consider?
Yeah, actually, I really think that in 3 years we're gonna have the regulatory plan, right?
But in the meantime, on the regulamento, this temporary one, can you put in, hey, let's take a look at this.
Yes. 3 years in our time, the institution time, is too short for me, right? But anyways, we are totally open to make a review every year.
Okay. So
and also
that's a big point.
And also that means that also with the regulatory process, we're going to have more information every year. And probably we can just improve the version per year without problem.
Well, I'm saying this on behalf of the people, both pro the temporary regulations and con. And that's one uniform point that seems to work for both sides, is the ability to change if something's just simply not working.
Yeah, that's...
Okay, so you guys are open to that.
Yes, we're
all right. Well, that's cool to hear. So basically, everything that you're trying to get through right now can be changed. It might be changed, or probably even will be changed when the regulatory plan comes. In the meantime, you're willing to review the temporary one potentially each year, I guess, to be determined.
Yes.
And the committee, as it sits right now, that's what I should ask you about. What is this committee that you're referencing? So there's you have your job with the municipality, but then there's the commission or the committee that is reviewing this whole thing right now.
Yes. Actually, we are 7 people in the committee. And basically, we are 2 guys from the municipality, like the technical guys.
So there's 7 people, right?
Exactly.
Okay, out of the 7 people, are they all from Nosara? Are they all Nosara Civic Association members? Is Cookie steering you and twisting your arm to say things and make decisions?
No, not at all.
So John Johnson's not like sending you flowers and buying you things and telling you how the future of Nosara goes?
No, too far from that. I mean, Cookies is inside. She's part of the civil representation. We have 2 guys from the administration, which is the technical muni support, which is Joanna and myself. We got also 2 guys from the main council, which is more political participation. And there is Johnny and Karen. And also for the civil representation, there is Cookies, Cinia Campos, and Elbetia, which is another architect from Nicoya. I mean, everybody is from Nicoya.
Okay. Do the Nicoya people still hate Nosara?
No.
Or is that fixed?
No.
That's all in the past?
It never happened a hate feeling there, no.
Well, you have to say that because you work for Nicoya now. But you
but
used to be from Nosara. And everybody around here used to feel that way.
I never feel like that. I mean, that was a project like this project right now is part of the process, right? So I don't see any... hates in the game right now.
It's not like, let's get those Nosara folks.
No, actually, I think that helps a lot to people in Nosara because now I just feel them like more unit, like teamwork, right?
It's really interesting to see Nicoya and Nosara talking. It didn't used to be like that.
Yes.
Maybe you helped that.
Yeah. No, we are totally hoping to do that. And actually, it's kind of fun because I really like this process. For us, it's being a lot of learning process also, because no matter how you can prepare, it's not the same.
Well, how could you do a plan regulador if you don't have sufficient information to make these huge decisions?
Exactly.
And I guess the same question for right now. How could you do a temporary regulamento building regulations without having sufficient information?
Well, that's the reason because only the municipalidad can do that. Right, because we have the legal path how to do it and the legal support to make our own internal reglamentos, right? Or specific reglamentos for some area, right? That's the important thing because we don't hire or we don't use like another company to do it, right? We are learning a lot about this because no matter how you prepare, it's not the same to work in the process, right? And this have been like a way how to prepare ourselves to do that.
So this is basically, I'm probably saying this wrong, but this is essentially a practice run.
Yes, basically, yes. You can say it like that. Because now we are thinking just a small part of the reglamento inside a big regulatory plan. In the regulatory plan, we're going to work with more information, more people, more everything. So that's why it's a good exercise for us.
I get you. Well, yeah, for lots of reasons, it's a good exercise.
And if you think about it, it's going to be the same, right? So, but with more information.
You just think it's going to happen in 3 years, and I think it's going to happen in 10.
Well, I trust that it's going to happen in 3.
How long does that commission stay in place? Will it be the same 7 people for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, or how? how long is the current commission going to be these 7 people?
Well, basically, this commission is working by the time of the government, the municipality government. So we're going to change that next year in February. So we are going to talk about a new commission next year.
I got you. So that's very interesting.
Yes. So in this time, soon as they change the mayor and all that, it's going to change also the council, the main council in Nicoya is going to have new people. So after that is set, so probably after May, we need to work in make changes for the commission.
Well, as I'm listening to you talk, what I just heard was another reason why you guys have to move quickly is because you have support for this right now. Yeah. And you want to get it through before you have a change and you lose the support.
Yes. Every time is the same. We need to start to work with new people in the Muni, explain them the reason of every project, so they need to understand what we're working in order to ask later for their support.
Gotcha. So your goal is to get proposal number 2 through, published, enacted, and then next year the new commission can review it once you have your 1-year review.
Exactly.
Making some progress here. I'm starting to understand.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Hey, how are you dealing with this? Are you going to sleep happy or sad or angry, or people sending you death threats or sending bombs your way or anything, or like how's it going?
No. I think it's very. I'm cool.
You okay?
Relax. Yes.
Is this stressing your wife out?
No, not at all. I mean, we are not like getting involved feelings in this process. It's just part of my job, right?
So you don't have an emotional attachment to this. You're not like, come on, no. Get through. Oh, I got to get that one.
No, not at all. It's kind of fun because people think that is my project or somebody else's project, right? But no, I mean, it's some legal process that we have in Costa Rican law, and we try to follow that. If we have some mistake or something, we could have it. I mean, we are people, right? But there's also a process to improve that. And also if we keep a process in our institution, that's normal for this kind of job. But I notice I just go to bed all days at 9, 8 p.m., wake up at 5:30.
Okay, so your schedule, though, you're still coming to Nosara for the foreseeable future on Mondays?
Yes. Actually, every Monday we open here from 8 to 3, kind of. Some days we stay more, depending on how many people are in there. But definitely, yes. And we are trying to coordinate and see if we have like permanent office here. That's one of the projects behind this, because that's a totally success project, having a office here on Monday.
And then they can catch up with you in Nicoya Tuesday through Friday.
Yes, you are there in Nicoya from 7:30 to 4. And also, we have our email, phone number.
Please go ahead and say those right now, and we'll have it on the screen.
Yeah, our official email is planregulador@muni.go.cr.
Would you be willing to share your office phone number, please?
Yes, that 2685-8700.
Okay. And would you consider doing something like Skype or Zoom or something like that? Because, and this, again, I'm not taking a side on this, but I'm just telling you the truth, and you should hear this. There's a lot of people who are scared to speak right now. Because people who are pro are very passionate, obviously, about the environment in Nosara and don't want it to get messed up. Yeah. But there are people who have questions and they're scared to voice them around here. If you could see them and talk to them, they're not all bad people. Having questions about your proposal doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you have a question or you have a point. If you'd be willing to do like a Skype thing so you could see them and talk to them, I think it could bridge the gap a whole lot.
Actually, that's a good idea, because great idea, actually. And I will. Definitely,
you will.
I will.
That's great.
Probably later I can let you know, and you can add it to the podcast.
That's also fantastic. Yeah, whatever lets people share their thoughts and feelings, and speak with you directly.
Yes,
I think would benefit everyone. But right now, like I said, people are scared, and if they go to the public meetings, like the last public meeting that you came to, the one at the Kitson Library, I interviewed people right afterwards. No one would talk to me who had anything to say that wasn't pro, and the reason why was because the emotion. And obviously, this is an emotional thing. This is our everything. We don't want Nosara to go away or to change or to lose our environment or our nature. Or All these things are wonderful things, but there's details inside of this. So most people, number one, they're confused because we're all thinking as far as planned regular door type stuff. And it's like, well, why aren't you factoring in the animals? Why aren't you factoring this? And your answer is we just don't have the information yet. We're going to have a planned regular door in 2 to 3 years. And that's how it's going to be.
And all that will be in, definitely.
Got it. And that will be factored in completely. So you're telling everyone, just be patient, take deep breaths. We'll get there. On the flip side, the people who have significant agreement or disagreement with proposal number 2, they still have time to talk to you. Is that correct?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And actually, we learned a lot about this process because I really like to talk with people. And it's part of the yelling process also. So when we have somebody just yelling, I mean, I don't focus on what he's or she's yelling, right? I just focus, try to get his point.
Yeah, they're probably yelling either because they really cared, it means a lot to them, or there's a big financial issue at stake. Maybe one or the other or both.
Yes.
Either way, those are all, I guess, fine reasons for yelling. And it's nice of you to hear people out and try to hear where they're coming from. But this is tough. And I just appreciate you coming on and giving us more clarity, because if you sit down and ask people, do you care about the animals? Do you care about the trees? Do you care about this place? Everyone's going to say yes. Everyone's going to say yes. Even the people who want to develop aren't doing it just because they have, or this is what I think anyway, they don't have rock hard hearts and they just want to ruin the place and leave. They still don't. They might want to make all the money they can and leave, but they still don't want to ruin the place. I don't think anyway. So we need to have dialogue and we need to have people talk. So that's where the podcast is coming from. And I want to thank you a great deal for coming on. Is there any message you'd like to get out there? Any shout outs or anything? Any people you want to thank or anybody you want to yell at or anything like that?
No, I mean, just to remind that we are totally open in this process. We don't try to do something like not legally or not well in the stand, right? So we are focused now and open the channels to speak with people. That's why I like the Skype idea. That might
be a game changer for you, Josue.
And people need to be confident. I mean, like, we translate everything. I mean, you don't need to be architect or engineer to say what you're thinking or what you feel right now.
Someone this morning told me via email and a phone call that I don't think you're listening because they sent you something in English. Is that accurate?
For what?
They didn't think that you would listen to their message because you sent it in English.
No. I try to, I read all of them. And I'm super Google fan with Translate. So when I understand, I Google it. And I just try to understand everything.
But now they can talk to you in person in Nosara, or you're committing to the Skype thing. Also, WhatsApp has a video call thing too. Yeah. So if you connect on that, Zoom, Skype, WhatsApp, all of those would work.
And we are open to do this. For example, last month, I received an email from a couple, and they said a meeting for 40 days later. And I just scheduled, and I'm just waiting for the day.
So how much time do people have to talk to you before you publish round 2?
We're expecting maybe in a month have coordinated the publication for the second version. But in all this time, just please keep going and keep sending the comments.
Okay, so you still want to hear it. People still have time.
Yes.
And just to recap for anybody.
Keep in mind that all Mondays we're here.
Got it. On Mondays you're here. Tuesdays through Fridays, Nicoya. Available phone, now Skype, WhatsApp, all that good stuff. You'll let us know, and maybe we can put that in the show notes.
Yes.
And to recap everything, for the most part, you're saying version 2 of the proposal is about 80% pro, 20% con. And so it's overwhelming, it seems, in the favor of pro based off the feedback you're getting right now.
Yes, we can find maybe a better number for that because last week in last meeting, somebody asked about that. And we don't never have a sort system for the emails, and we try to create that in order to have like a better number about the situation.
Maybe before you go to publication, give that a shot. Around here, the people who have questions or maybe that they don't like the regulations, they feel isolated. The people who are far, now they know that they're definitely in the majority. But at the same time, a lot of the people who are pro-regulations might not really understand the regulations. And a lot of the people who are anti-regulations still might not understand the regulations.
Yeah.
So all I want is information flowing at the highest level it possibly can so people can make an educated decision.
Yes, but also you need to keep in mind that this is not like voting stuff, right? We are not like expecting who's going to win, the sí or no, right? This is about to have feedbacks. And that's what I say. We try to translate what people say, right? And keep it in mind and get to a number that is with some technical support and legal support also.
Gotcha. So I'll translate that into what I hear you say.
Okay.
The real plan regulador is coming in 2 to 3 years. And all these detailed, no matter how well intended, that's when that will be implemented.
Yeah, exactly.
And we just have to believe you that 2 or 3 years is going to happen, not 10.
Yes.
All right. We're going to place a bet.
No.
I'll have to think about, maybe we'll have to place a bet of some, and I hope I lose because we need a plan regulador.
Yeah.
Oh, the sooner that can happen, that's good and accurate, the better off we'll all be, and it can make this whole thing go away. Right now, people are just emotional because this is a sensitive subject, and we've never had it before.
Of course.
People have good points across the board.
Yes.
I think the one thing we all have in common, and you as well, is we love Nosara, and we want it to come out of it as best as it can for people and nature and the environment, all of the above.
And actually, we found very good actors here. I mean, people from Costa Rica, they have solid feedback, technical feedback, architects, engineers, also people from another country. They have some experience in planning, and they came and talked to us, and we really noticed. And definitely, they are going to be part of the main process.
If you get enough feedback and you talk to enough people, is there a potential version 3? Or are we publishing version 2 and then we wait?
Well, I don't expecting a version number 3 because main comments and main feedbacks are
pretty overwhelming in favor of version 2.
Yes, and we're expecting like have a middle point, right? Not like something bigger than that. For example, there's a few guys that they're as at 12 meters high, but there's one that they don't want a 12, they want a 15. So 12 to 15 is
I get
not
you.
too much.
Or
But
9 to 12, I would imagine.
Exactly. So we're gonna be there, and this is gonna happen all the process.
I get you. That helps explain it. I think what I was getting at is there's not going to be a sweeping one where it goes from say 1,000 meters to nothing. That was the one that caught that I think caught people by the
based on and also consider the technical information that we have, and also we consider that we need to improve the minimum lot size, but we need to include more information. The one that we have is not enough.
Is there anything the general populace can do to help in any way? Outside of just send you an email or give you a phone call or come talk to you?
I think just keep in mind the process. Don't forget that. Go to the meetings or send somebody or share the information.
Okay.
That's the main help for us.
Okay. So that really is, that's what the general populace can do is right now is communicate.
Yes.
Okay. But that's also going to close too once it gets going. And then we're going to have to wait for the real plan regulador.
Yes.
So if someone has something to say it.
Yes, basically that's it.
All right.
We want to listen.
Hey, how often do you get yelled at?
Like all days.
No, I don't mean by your wife. I'm talking about by everybody.
No, she never yelled. I mean, job is part of my job.
Gotcha.
I mean, there's a lot of frustration from people talking with institution, money, caja, inks, it's general. So we try to do our best to stop yelling.
Well, it seems like most people agree with where you're at based off the feedback you're currently getting. So I imagine the yelling has slowed down or gotten to a smaller number, I would think.
Yes, definitely.
Well, I think a lot of that is credit to you for coming out and letting people talk to you face to face, doing things like this. Like this is going to be very helpful because the people who won't see you, maybe they'll see this.
And we know about the process. We know that it's going to be like that. So we are very focused and make it in the proper way. And that means open the channels, document everything, make a good register of everything, and try to people get involved.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks for your efforts and thank you for being so communicative.
You're welcome.